got lucky. Ben's team went bust. Worthy got hurt by friendly fire trust. 3 plays in and the dream was done. Now Adam's looking like he might be the one. Week 1's in the books, grab a beer, take a seat. Some folks got lucky, some tasted defeat. Raise a glass high, if you lost it's okay. We'll laugh till next Sunday, then do it all again. Now Jake rode Derrick Henry like a wild stampede, knocked off Jeremy's crown award. Yes indeed, it was supposed to be Jeremy's year, we all swore, but Jake said not today, son. Check that scoreboard. Sean didn't score much but still pulled a win. Dez's whole roster went straight in the bin. We said, damn it Dez, but what can you do? Just don't let Sean win. Good luck all but you. Week 1's in the books, grab a beer, take a seat. Some folks got lucky, some tasted defeat. Raise a glass high, if you lost it's okay. We'll laugh till next Sunday and do it all again. Now John beat Will in a shocking twist. Will's powerhouse team's on the what the hell list. John's horseshoe shining, but how long will it last? Will's praying week 2 comes real fast. Jay whooped in like a rodeo clown. RB's running wild, just tearing it down. Only 33 more points, Ian cried. Jay just tipped his hat and took that ride. Clint crushed Josh with Josh Allen's arm. 39 points, so lordy no harm. NASCAR still loves you, Josh, don't you frown. But Clint's team looks like the best in town. Your week 1's in the books, grab a beer, take a seat. Some folks got lucky, some tasted defeat. Razor team went down, don't you worry my friend. We're just getting started, it's week 2 again. So congrats to the winners, the losers drink too. Fantasy football is what Cowboys do.
Oh, and week 1 is in the books. Welcome everyone again. As our next video here, we'll look at week 2 predictions and kind of see how the league's going to shake out here after after this weekend. And so it'll be 2 weeks in the books. We'll see where your team stands. But before we jump into week 2, let's talk a little bit about week 1. So as you can see on the screen here, right? We'll talk about that in a minute. Who won, who lost. But how did I do on my predictions? Well, 3-3. Last week, I got Sean, Jay, Clint correct. But totally missed on, Jeremy, Will, and myself. I predicted all the wins, so 3-3. What's kind of crazy is Jeremy and Will and myself, I picked them all to win. They were all playoff teams, felt pretty strongly about them, and that just did not happen. In fact, I think Jeremy had an okay week, but Will and I had a challenging week to say the least on there. So there you go, 3-3 on the week. Let's take a look at our rankings. We can see them in front of us, right? We've got Clint, number 1 on there with the not only 1-0, as all 6 of these teams, of course, are, but has the most points for. And then as we go through our top 6 here, or really just say our undefeated teams, we've got Clint, we've got Adam, Jake, Jay, John, and Sean. All 1-0 to start this season, but it's early, right? 1 week in, maybe you're 0-1. Scroll down, we'll look at all the 0-1 teams. We don't have to call you out. You know who you are. I know who I am. We know what we need to do this week, and that's get a win. So let's talk about that. So enough about week 1. We're looking at week 2 and what we need to do, right, to really not start the season 0-2. Ideally, 2-0 after 2 weeks is outstanding. 1-1, you can work with that. But you start 0-2, it's a challenge to go, because if you think about it, right, to make the playoffs, typically you got to be pretty damn close to that 500 mark, and when you already start 0-2, you've got a steep uphill climb that you need to do the rest of the season. So, but let's not worry about that. Let's go game by game, and we won't go into a ton of detail, but I do want to break it down just who I think is going to win this week, because that's what we do here. We have fun with that, and it typically doesn't matter or mean anything when it actually comes to how everything turns out but it's fun. It's what we do. So, first one, we've got Jake versus Adam. What's kind of crazy, right? One of these teams will be 2-0 to start the season. Both of these teams were picked to miss the playoffs by yours truly, and one of them is going to end up being 2-0. Who will that be? We won't go, line by line and so on, but I'm going to say it's Jake. Mostly just because Adam's had a couple players or positions already for this week, and they've underperformed. And for the most part, I like Jake's team. Henry against Cleveland will be interesting to see how that ends up turning out, but I think Jake gets the win over Adam this week. Next, Sean versus John. Pretty damn sure we started the year off by saying anyone but Sean, but here we go. I'm going to predict him to be 2-0 starting the season. If you just look at the projections and what's already happened with the Thursday night game, I think it's going to be a challenge for John to catch up and win this week. So we're giving this victory to Sean this week, who starts the season out 2-0. Next, Will versus Dez. One of these teams will start 0-2. And kind of on the opposite of what we just said in that first pick on there. These were two playoff picks that I had, and one of these teams are going to start 0-2. Who will start 0-2? And that's going to be Dez. I pick Will to win this week. I think he rebounds. I think Barkley has a pretty good week. Carries him. Burrow rebounds as well. I like Will this week to win, to get to 1-1, and that would put Dez in that hole of being 0-2. Next, we got Josh versus Jay. Remember when? Let's take a stroll down memory lane, right? And we have the draft, and even before the draft, we declared our keepers, and Josh kept Kraft in the 16th round. And nobody really made fun of anybody's keepers because, you don't always know how the season's going to play out. But I'll tell you right now, Josh, that man looks like a genius with keeping Tucker Kraft based on his performance for week 1. But it's only for 1 week. We'll see if that plays out for the whole season. But definitely a strong start for that one position for Josh. But I'm going to say all that, take it into consideration. You can see on the screen here that they're expected to be really, really close on there. Tucker Kraft already had one heck of a, week 2 on here. So I guess that's, we said it was at least for 1 week. It was for this week that he scored 24 points, 124 yards, a touchdown. Phenomenal. I'm giving Josh the win this week. I think he pulls out the win against Jay, and then he ends up being 1-1. Well, so would Jay overall in the end then as well. So next, Clint versus Ian. I think Josh Allen scores more than half of Ian's guys here combined. I think it's going to be another rough week for poor Ian. We don't need to get into it. I don't need to shine any more misery into Ian's life here. Let's just say Clint is going to win comfortably. And then the last one, scrolling back up here, myself versus Jeremy. Again, 2 0-1 teams. One of these teams are going to be 0-2 to start the season, and we picked both of them to be in the playoffs. And hell, we picked Jeremy to win the championship, as we thought he was the favorite. But you know what? Yeah, I'm going to go with myself here. Surprise, right? I'm going to pick myself to win somehow against Jeremy on here. I think it'll be close. I think it'll be ugly. But somewhere in there, hopefully it's McCaffrey, Tyreek, sure. Maybe my tight end actually, more than 1.2 points or whatever he had last week actually does something a little bit more. But anyways, close game, but I'm giving myself to win. That would move me to 1-1, and then Jeremy to 0-2. So there you have it. There's your winners. So to recap, Jake, Sean, Will, Josh, Clint, and myself all should win week 2. And if we do, if everything plays out like I just predicted, which of course it never does, but let's say it does for this scenario, Clint would have one hell of a commanding lead on as our number 1 team, right? By really a long shot, because I think I picked the next few teams all to lose, picked Sean to win, but Clint's definitely got the points for way ahead of Sean, and would be expected to be the same again this week. So I think if that all plays out, Clint would be number one by a long shot above everyone else. And then, you know what? If that's the case, and Clint is by far way ahead of everybody else, maybe he would deserve a song dedicated to, him being our number one team next week. We'll see how that all plays out for fun, and we'll see. Maybe that's in the possibilities. So there you have it. There's my predictions then for week 2. Congrats to our undefeated teams so far. Good luck as we enter this week. And look forward to the next video here to recap week 2. And then we'll talk about it as we enter week 3.
Your week 1's in the books, grab a beer, take a seat. Some folks got lucky, some tasted defeat. Razor Gene went down, don't you worry my friend. We're just getting started, it's week 2 again. So congrats to the winners, the losers drink too. Fantasy football is what Cowboys do.